Greetings, exiles, and this is the final part of my adventure. Let's start with a showcase of my streamer client. Boring tink, but a tink is a tink. Now that's more interesting. Nice. And double again. Wow. Sorry, no gambling or opening scam boxes today. I'm kidding. Let's see what Nameless Seer has in store for us this time. Scam. Although at this stage of the league there are already very few valuable unique items that will cost more than 1.3 divine orbs. Speaking of which, the strategy with strongboxes is fun. Very fun. Now let's take a look at the new items I bought. I'll start with an expensive purchase. Headhunter. At this point, this is the best upgrade for this character because this unique belt gives us defense, damage, and speed. It's much easier to play and the build feels completely different. In addition, Headhunter is even cheaper and the price continues to fall. So this is definitely a best buy. Now literally a few words about Blade Vortex build. There are actually many variants of this build. You can use a bow. You can use Power Charges Stacker with Ralakesh boots. There are variants of CI. And of course Magic Find. Each of these builds have their own strengths and weaknesses and most importantly budget. So I will show you my version of Power Charges Stacker without Ralakesh boots. Well, just because I like it better. But you can always check out PoE Ninja and see other options. Alright, enough ranting and let's get back to shopping. I need clusters. One large one. Like this. And 2 medium clusters. I'll buy one. And the other one, let's try to craft it ourselves and see how much cheaper it is. Wow. That was very quick, and to be honest, this process will take you a lot longer and require more currency. Let's craft another one, just for science. Also relatively quick and cheap. I don't need a third medium cluster though. But it can always be sold. Easy money. Speaking of which, if you make this craft, post in the comments how fast you did it. Now I need 2 small clusters. These are the main characteristics you need to pay attention to. The rest is a nice bonus, but the price of this cluster will depend on them, so choose according to your budget. Enlighten level 3. And a new anointment. I can now activate an extra aura and 2 extra heralds and increase my damage significantly. Awakened Unleash to free up a few extra skill points. Nice. Impossible escape to access these skill nodes. And Unnatural Instinct. Not the most essential purchase, but a very good one. Look at all the bonuses we get from 1 jewel slot. It's insane. I think that's enough shopping for now, but I'll come back to the upgrades later. Now let's see what this bait build can do with all these new items. Let's test it on 8 mod maps with Delirium, Beyond, and increased map modifiers. Oh yeah. This is definitely the build now. We are much faster, more survivable, and have increased DPS significantly. And those explosions are just beautiful. Aren't they? Speaking of which, after I added 2 additional heralds to the build, we don't need Profane Bloom anymore. And instead, I took an extra curse to increase our single target DPS. I'm not going to lie to you, it's not the best and strongest build, but it's great fun for me. And that's what matters. In the comments of last week's video, I got a lot of people asking me about my Atlas strategy. But to be honest, I find it hard to say because I used many different strategies. It was Legion, Strongboxes, Harbingers, Back to Basics, and even Magic Find. Did someone say MF? Yes. A lot of my viewers are probably waiting to hear the most interesting part about Magic Find. But I'm not going to do that in this video, and I'll probably do a separate one about Cold Blade Vortex because that's a topic for a whole video. So, back to the Atlas. The changes to Atlas in the new patch are great, and there are many strategies for earning currency. You can choose what you like best. But let's not get distracted because there are still some important improvements to come. I need to change my armor because I don't like my current one. I'm not going to reshow the whole crafting process. If you're interested, watch the last video. And I will go straight to the most interesting part. It's actually pretty good. Benchcraft and I have new armor. Speaking of which, I can now use this mastery. Very nice. Now I need a new shield. I bought a base like this. I use Harvestcraft to get +1 to physical skill gems. Benchcraft prefixes cannot be changed and Harvest Crit Reforge. Not a bad result. But I'll be greedy and try to do better. Unlucky. I'll fix this shield later, but I hope you figured out how to make a shield like this. Now an important reminder, you can only get +1 to physical skill gems on spell-based shields. If you can't get a base like the one I bought, then buy any base and use Essence of Scorn until you get a good life roll. That will be a good option too. It's time to change boots. I bought this base and Redeemer's Exalted Orb. Alteration spam. Until I find this mod. Now I need boots with Hunter's Influence. Alteration spam again. I need this modifier. Prepare for this to be a very long process, and you will need about 800 Orb of Alteration. At a bare minimum, and sometimes you'll need several thousand. Awakener's Orb. Don't forget to make sure you only have one modifier on each of your boots. This is important. Not bad. Experienced players may ask me why I didn't do elevated modifiers. But it's very simple. It's a very long and expensive process, and I didn't want to bother for the sake of a small speed bonus. Next, suffixes cannot be changed and Harvestcraft with Critical Reforge. Great. Now comes the hard part, blocking mana. And pray to the gods. I need to get movement speed or life, and preferably high tier. No way. Oh my god. This is perfect. Benchcraft life, and I got some very nice boots. A level 21 Vol Blade Vortex. A new jewel and some tattoos to reduce the effect of shock on you. To be honest, not the best, but better than nothing. And the final test. As I said before, I really like what I ended up with. I wanted to make a fast build with cool explosions. Although our defense is not the best and you will die from time to time. But we are all mortal and we all have that fate. But this build is not about defense, it's about speed and explosions. And this series of videos is not about the most broken build, but about progression and fun. Here comes the fun. Here comes Magic Find. 30 Divine Orbs for this scarab. More expensive than Headhunter. This is insane. There are actually a lot more improvements that can be made. For example, my current build has 12 million DPS, but you can easily double that value, and there are many improvements that will make this build stronger and faster. But personally, I am happy with this build, and it fully fulfills the purpose for which I created it. So at this point, it's time to say goodbye. I hope you enjoyed this series of videos and found it useful. Thank you all for watching and commenting. I appreciate it. Also, I will be very grateful for your likes and subscriptions. Bye everyone, and see you in new videos.